looked up a picture of porn, it gave me Stalin. I love Roll20's image search.
And that's gonna be the first sentence of the VOD. Let's go.
Oh dear God.
Porn and Stalin.
Oh, buddy.
Choked on water a little bit. Welcome to D&D.
Hello.
What was that noise, Danny?
I have my voice back. Huzzah.
Huzzah! Tristan's not dying this week.
For now.
For now.
Tristan can
indeed.
Toonkar again.
Yes, I can Toonkar again. Ha ha ha.
So whack, these images. Okay.
What?
These images just doesn't. It's not matching anything. Okay. Last time. Kind of. Last time. If I can start music, there we go. Last time you all, you were in Fragrance Bay. You robbed a map. Two of the party members robbed a map from a local merchant, who are currently being hunted by the town guard, who have no idea who could have taken it at all. No chance.
They really don't.
You don't know. And you all decided to gather up and head to the closest beacon that you were aware of.
We got our butts handed to us on a plate.
Did.
We forgot to press Control 1.
Chopped off entirely and put on a plate.
This guy's gonna murder me.
Oh yeah. And you were given the warning that you are not strong enough.
And no one really tried to talk to the golems before we got our butts kicked.
A little bit, but not enough. And
nobody tried. I got a double nat 20. Excuse you.
But you weren't talking to the right one.
No, I wasn't. Unfortunate.
So we returned to the party who fled from combat on their cart that was being pulled by the party member Toonkar. You are currently settled down by a stream as you took a long rest, and had a somewhat normal night, other than a dream that changed the beacon that you had just visited from a blue to a red. You all awaken at your normal times, aka noon.
Toonkar.
Yep. I have awakened at noon, when the sun is high.
Yep.
Who's alive and joining us? What, Turtle? You have something to say, Turtle? I think the turtle's dead.
Turtle, hello.
What?
Are you alive?
Who are you?
Can I have used some of that 8-hour long rest to rope some pillows to my hammer?
Sure. Like as you were kind of waking up, you
Where's
remember.
My wallet?
You know, here you had that idea, so you kind of just did it.
Cool. Turtle, I got the thing prepared.
What are you talking about?
Trust me. And then I wink.
I'm not into that.
No, you're into worse things.
You can't even fathom.
I'm not wrong, though.
All right, so where are we going? Torto, you lead the way.
Why do I have to lead the way?
The elderly must be respected, and you are old, so you have
I
first
don't
decision.
have any respect for that old geezer.
Does a 19 hit you?
Yeah.
You will learn respect!
That's a -4. Just woke up and I've already taken 4 damage. I am squishy.
Now we must not fight amongst ourselves.
She was trying to start shit anyway. It was my decision to come here last time, and honestly, while insightful, it was painful, so I'll let somebody else decide where we go.
I have an idea.
Teo,
We let the turtle decide where we go, but he explores it by himself while we stand there and watch.
do you
So
want
if he has
another
to learn
smack?
something painfully, he learns it on his own, and we don't have to pay for his mistake.
What say you, Sheetman?
You live, Scorpy?
Apparently not.
I still hurt a little.
No, I
Fall
mean,
out of your tree again?
where would you like to go next? I would lead,
Personally,
but
I think we head back to Fragrance Bay. Look for clues.
What kind of clues are we gonna even find? That's the question. What are we even looking for?
we are looking for Bunnyman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is
I
Bunnyman?
forgot with all the
Ah.
golems.
What? But Bunnyman was companion. Bunnyman very rememberable.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I'm just saying the golems are kind of a little bit hard to forget.
Well, neither are those big floppy ears. I must.
You just really have a thing for bunnies, don't you?
Yes, bunnies are the gift to mankind. Yes.
You could say anything's a gift to mankind if you're religious enough, but that's besides the point.
Yes, that is what that Jesus Christ guy said.
Who?
One of my companions. Oh, maybe I was not remembering his name.
Tunkar is confirmed a disciple.
I'm sorry, so did Toonkard just say Jesus Christ is canon in universe? We have Christianity?
I mean, I did say that I might have misremembered his name. Like I do all of yours.
Not wrong.
He could have just been a priest.
I think Toonkar might be a bit more senile than I am.
I mean, that
No.
would be a feat, wouldn't it?
Yes. And not a very impressive one.
No.
What do you mean? I did not take that as feat. I took crap. I have to remember the name of it. Uh 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 I took
No.
Sentinel as feat. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
the stand arrow's gone.
All right, let us go back to the town of of the Smelly Bay, and let us go. Now, I guess I'll start hooking up the cart to myself.
Okay. Are you all following along?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm riding in the cart. Screw walking.
Alright. You begin your travel towards Fragrance Bay. It does take a few hours, as you learned yesterday when you came. But unless any of you have anything you wish to say or do while you're on the way, You can skip ahead.
I
I'd
will
make
whistle a
nap.
tune.
So Teo, you seem to have been off your game during that last fight. Is everything okay? You good?
I have only felt that much force in the past. In training.
Training, huh? What was your master like?
Strict but good.
Yeah, mine was also a hard ass, but he had his moments that really helped get me through it and all.
All those 208 billion years ago.
When the earth began to cool. Do you know if your master's still alive?
Yes.
You should you should ride him every once in a while.
Not quite sure how he would react.
I mean, depending on where he is, we could potentially warn him about what we just experienced.
Potential,
Hmm?
but he is further south.
So why is it that you don't like the South so much?
It's hot and dry and there's no water.
Personal reasons.
Understandable. Well,
I love how I was like, Marina's probably sleeping, and then she's still responding to people.
She's just
Sheet.
responding earnestly.
Hey, sheet man.
Mm.
Sheet man, why do you wear sheet? I've always wanted to ask. It's very hot out. I must say.
what are you talking about? It's nice out.
It's like a cool 60 degrees.
Yes, it's very hot for for my.
He's got fur. He's got fur.
I got a full on fur.
We have fur on one hand and reptile on the other.
Well, I don't know that. I still haven't seen what's under the cloak. Well, I've
No,
seen
No,
Fur
I'm
mod.
the reptile.
Oh,
I'm
you're
a
the
turtle.
reptile.
He likes
Yes.
warm.
It is very hot.
My
Marina would prefer things to be damp.
form is very
Freaky.
Don't say that. Use the term off-putting. It's a lot nicer and a bit more respectful.
off-putting.
Freaky.
Pervert.
Mm.
Well,
Boomer.
if you,
Oh,
I guess
shit.
if you, I feel like we have known each other for so long now. You should open up, and by open up I mean take off your coat.
Haven't
I
we
thought you were
like
saying take off something else.
haven't we known each other for not even a whole week?
It's
Yeah.
been a little over a week, but not by
It has
much.
to have been at least a week.
Hmm. People open up at their own pace. Let's
I'll
not
let you touch my horns.
No.
Wait, I am not talking to Turtle. I'm talking to Sheetman.
Why are adults so weird?
We are not
Oh.
weird. I am just stupid.
Maybe they're just born that way.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe they're just born that way, or maybe it's Maybelline.
I think they're just weird.
Oh, don't you start saying they're weird now. You're gonna become one of us at some point.
Nope.
You cannot stay young forever.
Darn well I'm gonna try.
Sooner or later, enough salt's gonna be added, you're going to turn from a river into a lake. And then an ocean.
Lakes aren't salty.
Have you not seen Salt Lakes, the Great Salt Lake in Salt Lake City?
That is a rare
Missed
exception.
Ghost.
Or you miss Ghost?
The Ghost Wolf games?
You mean the one, the guy?
The myth, the legend?
Scott Sterling? I'm kidding. All right, but back on track. I guess I'll continue to walk us and make small chat with everybody
Okay.
while humming my tune.
You move the cart along the trail, and you will all eventually, probably since you woke up and left around 12:30ish, it's probably 4 or 5 o'clock now. As you're coming in.
So, I'm just gonna say this. We need a source of income.
Yeah, there are no trees nearby. Actually, no, there are tons of trees. Let me go cut wood. We just came from a forest. I forgot.
I'm gonna say cool your jets there, Buster.
You don't have anyone to sell to.
Well, we don't need to necessarily. Well, actually, yeah, that is a good point. But we also don't necessarily need to do what you were doing before. We could just look around and see, are there any odd jobs?
I mean, there was that big
Jobs,
worm.
bounties, pockets to pick.
That last one is a last resort, and even then.
But I want to see the worm.
What?
I want to see the worm all the way down south.
We could do that.
Wouldn't that take an awfully long time to get down south?
Do not worry. There are a lot of boats in the harbor.
Wouldn't that take a long time even by boat?
Most likely.
But think of
the best idea.
But think of the craftsmanship of the boat.
Slow your roll.
Nothing's set in stone yet. We're still trying to figure out, because we don't even have any leads on Heffel anymore. He is gone.
He is
probably got ate by the worm.
He went south. We know that much.
Yes, but how far south?
Yeah.
Exactly.
To be eaten by the worm.
You really think someone like that would be eaten that easily?
I mean, he's a little bunny man, isn't he?
Yes, but he is a strong person. He also has a gun.
Worm doesn't care about gun.
But you should.
Worm just sees bunny.
And I bet Worm would see water.
Hey, I'm a snack. I'll admit it.
I'm not going to comment any further on that because I don't want to be arrested.
I don't think that you would taste
like
very good water, girl. Yeah, I don't think you would taste very good water, girl.
No.
Nah.
I bet she's the
Turtle wouldn't taste good either.
What are you talking about? I would taste delicious with the right seasonings.
Nah. Turtles are gross.
As Toon Car's mouth starts to water at the thought of cooking the turtle.
Don't even think about it. If I'm dying, I am getting as far away from all of you as possible. Or I might take you with me. I never know.
Dang.
This is some great group bonding right here, yes.
Anyway, we're getting off topic. What do we want to do?
I mean, looking to see if there's odd jobs might be not a bad idea.
Yes, but we need to be careful about how we ask.
Is there a job board anywhere in the town, Sky?
Or
would that be like at the inns?
It would probably be at the inn. I guess.
Okay.
Marina and Remark, you two can roll history checks.
Oh
I
boy.
have a map of the city because I'm an urchin.
You do also have that.
Not much better.
Huh. If only it was investigation, then
I know,
then
right?
he could then Turtle would have at least had advantage.
You think that there might be one in a tavern somewhere? It kind of makes sense.
Dementia's kicking in.
So where will we go to find the thing? You two are the natives, so I will follow you.
It has been a long time since I've been here. How about we just go to the inn and ask if there's a jobs board?
Correct.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, Dale, just in case that we ever do have to go down farther south, please mentally prepare yourself, okay?
So you're going to the tavern?
Yeah.
Okay. You make your way back to the same tavern you were at before. Um, it's a little busy right now as it's starting to get to the time of night where people are gathering together
Were the
to drink
drunkards
the night
that
away.
we had beaten showing up now?
You do not see them, no.
You're
Okay.
probably hiding. They did get their butts beat pretty bad.
Yes, by a senile man, a
That is entirely
poncho,
true.
and a minotaur. How do you come back from that?
To be fair, they almost knocked out the senile old man.
No, they did.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, there was the weekend at Freddy's moment.
Yeah, 5 weekends at Freddy's.
I can still hear the voice of God. Uh,
What does it say?
He doesn't
something
have his cell
about
phone.
a guy named Freddy and weekends? Hmm. Anyway, let's do what we came here to do.
All
And that
right.
is not start a fight.
Who
No,
has
it's
the
ask for information.
who has the tact and the wordsmanship to speak to the female barmaid?
I'm gonna walk up to the bar.
Good call.
Oh, welcome back, dear. What can I get for you?
You wouldn't happen to know of any, like, odd jobs or, mercenary work around this area?
Hmm. Let me, give me a moment. And she goes back behind the bar. Um, you hear her cluttering, and it's probably another minute or two before she comes out with like a binder, essentially. Um, we have a few jobs. It's a lot of junk, if I'm being honest. It's just go here, bring us this. Usually shipments and stuff that have gotten a little delayed.
We ain't picky.
It's not really mercenary work, but you would get paid.
That's the important part. That's
Well,
the important part. You get a turtle here who has not, who's been a little frivolous with his money, and we need to make up for that.
gotcha. Well, there's a variety of things. There's you can go and pick some herbs that are local to the forest around us. There's a shipment that's currently delayed due to a crash of a cart in the middle of the trail between here and Hammerfall. Uh, there's the usual go hunt some animals, bring us their meat kind of deal. Uh,
Mm.
Uh,
it's kind of up to y'all.
upon seeing the binder, I'm gonna kind of make my way over so I can just take a look too.
Is there a limit to how many we can take at once?
No, but no.
Tunkar would like to go pick flowers.
That's what I was thinking you'd probably enjoy.
When you say hunting, can you give us a general location of where we're gonna be hunting and what for?
Well, it could be a few things. There's uh, rabbits and squirrels and such. There's also the occasional boar here and there that comes here, but that's usually above the mountain range. We don't get a lot of them down here.
Understandable.
It's mostly just small animal life.
Okay. Are there any other jobs that are around where said cart incident happened?
Well, the picking herbs and such is kind of just all over the forest, as they're natural to the forest. Um, Nothing else that's really specifically there.
Okay, so quite a couple of these jobs are either together or separated.
I will take the job to do the herb picking.
Alrighty, let me write up a small little contract, and I'll get that out for you.
Could you also write one up for the cart incident? I'm curious about that one.
Sure.
Thank you.
She takes the binder and heads back into it. Not in the same room, like behind the bar. She goes into like a smaller side room off of the actual main bar floor, and as the door swings open, you can kind of see a desk in there, and it seems to be just an office. But she goes in, a couple minutes, she comes out with two pieces of paper. All right, I just need y'all to sign this, and it's just liability. We're not responsible if you folk happen to get jumped by any mercenaries of the sort. But I think you'll handle yourself just fine after what y'all did with those drunkards yesterday.
I'm still waiting on my money from them.
They have not stopped by today, so
Alright, well, if they do, please, by any means necessary, make sure they pay up.
sure.
Thank you.
I sign my name, but seeing as I have 7 intelligence, I don't really know how to read or write. So uh I kind of just do like a scribble.
I'm
And just doodles a bowl in the
With
corner.
with
It's like, there's my name.
yeah, with like a peace sign up.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
just
anime
gonna
style
do
peace
the
sign.
standard like quick cursive writing.
Kind of Dr. Squiggles.
He has steak.
All right.
We should split the party because I really need to use the restroom.
He did not
I'm
just
a
say
BRB.
split the party. I need to go take a leak. God.
Dear God.
Dear Satan,
No.
it's been a while, and
You know, I was just realizing that explains a lot about you.
yeah, it does. Dear Satan, this year for Christmas I have been a real piece of shit. Hook me up, please.
Like, oh, gee, did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did.
Anyway, uh, so Sky,
Mhm.
did she hand us like a piece of paper with more details about the job we just took?
Yeah, she gave you essentially a small pamphlet. It's just kind of rough directions towards where the
Okay.
cart is, uh, and just a pretty well drawn depiction of what seems to be a small patch of herbs that you would be hunting for.
Okay. If you could bring up the world map, how much of a distance are we talking about? Because I believe you said it was between here and Hammerfall.
Yeah.
So it's just like how how close to Hammerfall are we gonna be getting?
It doesn't seem like it's crazy far. Like, it's not past the split in the path.
So it's roughly like about here.
Yeah, it's like around here-ish.
Okay. Which means we probably would have seen it on our way here.
You passed by the area that it seems like it was at, yes.
Okay.
I didn't see any, like, turned over carts or anything.
But to be fair, we also weren't exactly keeping an eye out for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do we want to do first? Do we want to go pick the herbs or investigate the cart?
Well, the cart's probably on a bit more of a deadline than herbs. But the herbs might be on the way. So go towards where the cart is at and keep an eye out for herbs.
How did we pass through the forest on our way here?
What do you mean?
So when I hear go get herbs from the forest, I'm thinking, oh, from the forest we just came from. But yeah, okay.
It says that it can, like, it just says the surrounding forest.
Okay. I'm just
Surrounding
trying to figure
areas,
out is
yeah.
is there a forest surrounding the whole town, or is it mainly to the south? Well then.
What?
What?
He's asking you a question.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought what? What was the question?
Is the whole town surrounded by forest?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
then,
other than the ocean.
yeah, we passed through the forest on our way here, which means, yeah. Okay.
We'll be able to
Well,
find
it's not really it's the rough, like, plains. There's trees scattered about, but it's mostly flat-ish land.
It doesn't get into being more tree dense until you go south.
Yeah, it's a lot of hills and such.
Okay.
But we'll still be able to find the herbs.
Okay, so we're talking Ohio level flooding. Got it.
Yeah, essentially. You're in fantasy
I'm gonna
Ohio.
stab you, Daniel.
Bring it. Bring it. I'm used to the Great Plains. I know what flooding is.
That's why I live in a place that's hilly and doesn't get flooded.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing?
What?
What are y'all doing?
Arguing. What does it look
Just
like?
waiting for the crew to figure out where we're going because I don't like talking to people.
I mean, so I think we're gonna be heading towards the car incident, but kind of taking it slow.
Herbs.
Yeah, so we could keep an eye out for herbs.
Okay.
We're also kind of waiting for Tristan to get back from the bathroom.
Right.
He's the one that split the party.
In real life.
Darn it, Tristan. This is how people die in horror films.
Moments ago, Tristan was dead on the toilet. He went the way of Elvis.
Toilet death.
Toilet death. Alright, I'm
Hey,
gonna go refill a cup of water.
At least it's not
All right, I'm
technical
back.
difficulties this time. Whoa, he's back!
Right as
Right
Percy
as
steps
Percy
in.
leaves.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nice.
I'm still in contact.
Wait, we split the party, right?
No?
No,
No.
we're all going the same direction. We're just going to be keeping an eye out for the herbs as we travel.
What? That's a boring way to do things. Okay.
It's boring, but it's safe.
Yeah, that is true.
We're in a low level area. Like what could the DM possibly do?
Hold on. Let me do a little searching here.
Tristan, put those words right back in your mouth and don't.
We're
say
talking.
them.
This is Sky we're talking about. It's not Danny.
Suddenly,
What?
Janai appears in the
Guy
middle of
has
the road.
learned from Danny, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, is that Tiamat?
Yeah, was that?
I don't know. I just looked up dragon.
That was Tiamat.
Oh. Why do I always face Tiamat in all of my campaigns? Come on now.
It's an
She's
iconic.
not even that
Why
good.
not?
Cause she's really weak. Anyway,
Is that a pixie dragon?
It's a fairy dragon.
Ah.
All right. Tooncar, are you leading the cart as you did before?
okay, so what was the deal? What was the deal of the contract? Like, is it based on how much we pick, or is it like?
For the herbs, it is based on how much you pick. It's 5 silver per herb.
Okay.
And
Then yes.
Is there a minimum requirement?
There's no minimum. It seems.
Okay.
And then the picking up the damaged goods or whatever with the flipped over caravan or flipped over cart gives a flat 15 gold.
Like, either way, we're
Okay.
gonna need the cart for this.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
my card isn't that. My card is not that big.
It's not. It's a
Well, we
little
can
tight
walk
already. With
back, but we can.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we'll need to carry stuff.
If need be, we could attempt to repair the turned over cart.
That. Yes, that would probably be good, but so basically out of character, would Tooncar have had the opportunity to possibly pick up some like crappy crappy weaving to like store the herbs in, you think I
Yeah.
could have found one on the side of the road
Yeah,
just to
easy enough.
store the?
you
Okay.
mean like a basket?
Well, I don't want to go as far as to say a basket because people generally don't throw out perfectly good baskets,
Well,
but like part of a basket.
yeah, no.
Yes.
I get that. You don't want to say is there a basket around, but you don't have to go like too rough. You could say, did someone throw out like a pre-owned kind of shoddy basket or something?
Pre-owned
See,
copy of Modern Warfare 2.
So the thing is that I forgot the word for basket IRL, so I
Okay.
did not say
All right.
a basket. So
All right. Anyway.
all right, cool. So we have a little bit of that taking up space too. So
Tinker just asked the lady for a weaving, and she's like, "What the heck?"
yes,
It's like, I think he means basket, ma'am.
Bass. Herbie Bass.
Carol Baskin.
So I assume you begin your way over.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So you begin on your trail towards the city of Hammerfall. It is a few days between here and the cart, as you learned from your original travel. It's not the same. It's not the same distance, so it's a few days less, but it will still take 2 days to get there.
Yeah, hopefully not as long as
Yeah,
before
but
because
it's not a full caravan. It's just you
exactly, it's just us.
Yeah, so it will only be about 2 days.
Okay.
And and we are passing through forest as we're going, so we can like look.
The surrounding area, it's not forest, it's like a plains.
Okay.
It's like the trees and hills and stuff.
It's not as dense as where
Yeah.
we literally got back to town from. There's
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Let's go.
Do you want investigation checks for the herbs?
Investigation if you're like actively searching the trail side as you're going, or perception if you're just idly like keeping an eye out from the cart.
I think I do investigation.
I as well do. Should I do investigation or nature check?
I guess nature would work too.
Oh yeah.
Is this everyone rolling or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking.
If you're looking.
Oops, sorry. I none of those were good, but take the natures.
Okay.
So I meant to do nature. I don't know why it. Oh, I queued up. I queued them up. Okay.
Yeah.
I realized
Accuser
what I
is
did
the
wrong.
live.
Yep.
Tunkar, you are
Live
too
recruit.
focused on keeping the cart in motion to kind of catch the small patches of herbs here and there. Rena, you see a few things that look like they might be herbs, and then on closer inspection, it's just a bunch of weeds. But you do eventually find one patch of the herbs you were looking for. Ramag, you with your keen glasses that you have
My
procured.
my spectacles.
Yeah, you put on your spectacles and you can differentiate between the local just grass
Flora.
and flora. Yeah, you were able to differentiate pretty well, and you got 3 patches of herbs. Teo, you pretty much the same, except it's just your natural skill that you were able to get 3 patches of herbs. So you have 7 total.
Okay. Sky?
Yeah,
Well, I'm also looking. Can I also try to keep an eye out for game?
sure. You have not seen any yet, but I will keep that in mind.
AO likes to hunt.
That will be your roll for the first day. So you eventually make it about halfway to your destination before night begins to fall. And, well, actually, you left about 5 o'clock. So night begins to fall halfway through the set investigations. You spend the night. You all have a nice night. Get a good night's rest, full rest, whatever. You wake up bright and
We're
early
gonna
at
get
12
sleep
a.m.
because everyone's snoring.
Yeah. You wake up bright and early at 12 p.m. And
And
you
no.
no.
That hurts my soul.
Bright
That
and
you're
early
constantly.
at 12 p.m.
Yeah, that you're all waking up at 12 p.m. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sky.
Yeah.
I put him in the cart.
He is the mover of the cart. Well, I guess
Yeah.
you can move it.
I put him in the cart in the morning. I wake up bright and early.
I'd also probably be an early riser
Yeah.
too, because I'm old.
The 3 of
It is
you are
like
pretty.
earlier than noon.
Yeah, the 3 of you are pretty early. It's mostly just you wait around for a few hours for Tooncar to wake up.
Yeah.
We
I make
we
the
wake
cart
up,
lighter.
have breakfast, Tooncar sleeps.
Yeah. So probably around like
then.
6:30, 7 a.m. You begin your journey with Teo leading the way.
I'd like to, if at all possible, assist in moving the cart.
He seems to have it pretty well. It seems like with him pulling it, it doesn't strain him as much as it does
Tune car.
for Tooncar.
Yeah.
Would you say the wheels aren't leaving as big of an indent?
Yeah.
Oh dang, you have land vehicle
Well, he's not necessarily
proficiency
driving
too?
it. He's kind of just dragging it.
Oh, okay.
Remember, this is kind of like a traveling merchant's cart, you know?
Yeah.
Like
He's
a
just kind of.
food stand.
Yes, I do.
Oh, he does.
Okay.
He's guiding it. He's got it down pat.
All right, cool.
You know the funny thing is, I do too.
Oh yeah. Got that one.
I don't.
All the
That's
men
kinda
have
funny.
land vehicle proficiency.
Tooncar, you kind of start to wake up as you hear the sound of wheels turning and chatting of your companions as you realize you are not where you were when you went to sleep and you are on the move.
Okay. I turn and hurl because I get real bad motion sickness.
Okay.
God
You all.
damn it!
Oh.
I just cleaned that carpet!
Oh,
Gross.
let me out! Let me out, please! Oh.
And this is the man who said, let's travel by boat.
As I
And
hear
you
that, I
think
just
you're gonna
twist, hand on the back, hand on the rail, feet plant, and just stop.
You think
Gotcha.
you're traveling by boat and you get sick by this? You're gonna have a really bad time on a boat.
I like to think of myself as not too Dragneel.
Damn it.
No, I'm kidding.
Where's your flying cat, huh? Oh, wait. Would it be a dragon in this case? Huh. Thoughts for another time.
Yeah,
No,
that's for another
D&D
time.
has D&D
Okay.
has cats that fly that are familiars. I forget what they're called, but they're a thing.
They are a thing. I do remember seeing that in Tasha's for the companions for Tasha's Cauldron.
Anyway.
After the little incident, you all eventually resume.
I go by foot.
Yeah. So you can all make your checks again for the last time before you reach the cart, where the cart should be.
Dang.
Can I sort of shift my focus a little bit to not be as determined on the herbs, but also keep an eye out for small game?
Sure.
Liddy.
Tooncart, now that you are no longer focused on dragging the cart, you are spick and span, and you're keeping your eyes out. And as you're walking along, you see behind a tree that's right near the path, you see a small little bushel of the herbs that you're looking for.
I see flour.
You scoop it up and put it in your makeshift basket.
Yeah. Ha ha ha.
Marina, today you're not as lucky. You had a quite lucky day yesterday, but today you just can't seem to see anything.
Staying on 8.
Same for
Marina's
you, Teo.
distracted by the fact that she had someone who hurled in the cart earlier.
Yeah, same for you, Teo. You're now, your job has shifted from just keeping your eye out to pulling the cart and guiding your way forward.
At this time, I'm looking for large game.
Right. You do not see any. Ramag, you are keeping an attentive eye everywhere, and you do find 4 herbs, as well as a small rabbit you can kind of see off the path, just currently chewing on something under a bush.
So I have darts. Can I just chuck a dart at it to try and kill? Cool.
Roll a dart. You hit it right in the side, and it kind of squeals before it stops moving.
Rabbit soup.
Yep.
I assume you all continue on again.
Hellman, has anybody been keeping track of how many herbs we have?
We have 12.
12? Nice. Okay. I will write that down. In my mind, because I cannot write real life.
Right.
It's like, I'm gonna write that down. Just scribble something on a piece of paper.
And then discards the paper.
Not even words, it's just a scrawl.
He just writes it down on a piece of paper and then just eats the paper.
Yes, I absorb knowledge through writing.
This man gains knowledge through eating books.
Can I put one? Can I gain 1 in intelligence for eating that? No, I'm kidding.
I think you might lose 1.
Yikes.
Pioneers used to draw sustenance from literature. Let's eat books.
Probably around 3 in the afternoon, you begin to see at the edge of your vision something off on the side of the trail come into view. It seems to be a turned over cart that matches the description you were given.
Alright, we're here.
Keep an eye out for anything that wants to kill us.
Weapons
'cause there's
hot.
probably something.
Do not worry, I have hammer with pillow on it.
I'm worried.
I need everyone to roll investigations.
I've been rolling great on them today.
16.
Dang, Danny!
Just get low or extended.
Get low.
Get low, get low.
Don't know what no.
Okay, Marina, as you're, I guess everyone but Toonkar, Tunker, you're still feeling a little sick from this morning.
Yep.
But everyone else, as you're approaching, you see the turned over cart, and at the front of it, you see what seems to be the corpses of 2 horses that are absolutely shredded.
You
It
ever
seems like
eat horse before?
some kind of wild animal came in and had a feast.
I'm just hooking up. I'm hooking up the cart
Right.
by a tree.
You do not see any humans or any sort of humanoid creatures.
Marina throws up.
Gotcha. You don't see any humanoid creatures on the ground, but you do see traces of footprints and such that seem to have headed back in the direction towards the split between Hammerfall, and Ballsmith.
Are they bloody footprints?
No,
Presumably from the blood of the corpse.
no.
Could I potentially make a nature or survival check to determine what kind of prints these are and how fresh they are?
Sure.
I went with survival.
Teo, you have a keen sense, and you inspect the cart and the horses and everything, and you make out that this is the cart you were looking for. There is a lot of scattered goods about between bottled oils and liquids and different things, as well as what seems to be packaged meats and salts and all kinds of cooking things. You also can determine that the horses, they seem to have been gnawed on by some sort of canine animal, just due to the prints and everything left on it. Ramag, with your survival, you can tell that it seems to be like a human boot print. It's just it seems like the survivors, after whatever caused this was dealt with, they made their way back to where they were. Or back to where they came from.
About how long ago would you say this happened?
It seems pretty old, probably 4 or 5 days, possibly even a week.
Okay.
Survivors managed to get away.
I kind of walk up to the cart, and I fall to my knees, and saying, "Who could have done this to you?"
Wild animals.
Wolves, to be exact.
Do you think it was the wolves we came across when we were on our way to Fragrance Bay?
You do see one small bite mark at the ass of one of the horses.
Yep, it was them.
Marina's
Likely.
upset about the horses.
But not the wolves that you murdered?
She was upset about the wolves she murdered too, okay? But she's really upset about the horses.
Priorities.
That's why she threw up.
Priorities.
Sky, you forget. Dawn is a horse girl.
Donna's very much a horse girl.
Yep.
She's
Start
also a
gathering up
cowboy.
supplies.
Is the cart repairable?
It seems like a few of the wheels are broken, but there's not a ton of damage to the cart itself. It's much larger than the one you currently have. It has the back is like a storage area, and then the front is more. Think of it more like a Oregon Trail kind of cart. It has the front seat with the reins for the horses, and then it has the back area that's used for storage or whoever is traveling.
So this is more like a covered wagon.
Yeah.
And then we have our rinkety-dinkety cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys thinking what I am thinking?
Move the wheels from that piece of junk to this.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
It's like you've done this millions of times before. You just you get in there and take the wheels off of your current cart and put them on. They're not the exact same size, so it might be a little slow.
It's a little low.
Yeah, you have a lowrider essentially right now.
Yeah, love NASCAR.
But they seem to fit, and they seem to rotate as you try and drag the cart about.
Were any of their wheels usable beforehand?
It seems like one of them might be, but it's not great.
I will take the one wheel,
Okay.
and just kind of put it in the back of the cart and everything.
Spare wheel.
I was gonna say, could we try to junk the two carts together and use the third, or use that loose wheel as like a middle joint and put a set of them in the back?
Oh my god, are you thinking about hooking them up like train cars?
And then try to just pull them back so then we can sell the good cart that we have that's not damaged.
I mean, we
Or refurbish it. Get more wheels.
Dale, well, that is a possibility. If we take this damaged cart and fix it up, we have a new cart for free.
We have a better cart for free.
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't say free. I mean, they did pay some gold for the regular cart, for our cart. And
you bought that old cart, and it has served its purpose well. But we now have this new free cart, pre-owned too.
Yes, but think of all the miles it has already put on.
But can it drift?
DM, can it drift?
No.
New show, can it drift?
Hashtag drift the horse.
Drift.
Drift Otar.
Drift.
All right. I guess. Hey, Cheat Man. You should because this is much bigger cart, and while I may be strong, I am not. I am strong as bull, not as horse. Sorry, not as two horse. Would you mind making it a little lighter for me, good sir?
My cat is going to town on my
or
door.
Do the thing that allowed you to pull other cart with all that weight.
Sky, can I easily pull this cart?
You can't easily do it. For you to comfortably do it, it would require both of you pulling.
You don't see an issue in that.
I consider myself to be decently strong too. I can assist in pulling if needed.
If we can both fit together on like the front axle and pull together.
Yeah, it has kind of like a two wooden pieces coming out that connects with like a bar in front that kind of lets you pull and push and such. It seems like it might have been attached to the saddle that the horses had.
It's kind of like the same rig you would hook a horse up to have him plow a field. Is it sort of like that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah. It's really nice how you described it, and we can all just associate it to this one thing. It's just,
So I'm gonna add the wagon
to your inventory. Damn.
No, not the because I'm keeping a list of all the property I own as well.
Ah, okay.
So
I would say let's gather up all the resources that were left behind.
Yeah, and and with with that same woodcarver's tool, like check, can I disassemble my wooden cart for raw material, or I want to make another one?
You could technically take it apart. It's not the best made cart, so you could easily pry at its all of its connections and essentially get a bunch of planks.
Yeah.
You could use it for many things. You could use it to repair this cart. You could use it to build like armaments on this cart, like defenses.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Are you telling us battle tank?
That's what I was. Honestly, that was what I was going for. So
yeah, you could essentially create like an overhang to have the wheels protected a bit. It's not like a crazy amount of wood, but you could get.
I'm not gonna do it now. I just wanted to
Yeah,
disassemble
that would
the
take
wooden
a bit.
cart.
Yeah, it'd be safer if we did it back at
Yeah.
Tune card, before you make any modifications, let's get back first. Get paid.
You know what? If we were able to make enough money, it's not going to be for a little while, but if we were able to make enough money of it, we could buy a horse to pull a cart.
Why would
We
we
would
buy
probably
a
need
horse
2.
when we have a tune car?
We would probably need 2 to pull these carts,
That too.
especially at full capacity.
Well, yeah, but that would mean that you guys wouldn't have to work so hard.
That would be true. That would be true indeed.
You wouldn't have to wear yourselves out all the time.
I'm
Well-
also gonna point out you would probably be the only person to ride in the cart. Cause no offense, Teo and Tune Cart, but we're all heavy boys.
We are. I mean, we are pretty heavy, but like, that's like 2 horses can pull like
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
So especially on wheels, but and this is a fairly large cart.
Yeah, it's a large cart. We don't know how much we're gonna be carrying when we travel.
As of right now, I'm very worried about the tiny wheels on big cart. So I want
which means
so I'm not adding any unnecessary weight.
yeah.
So I'm definitely
for now, I
think it would be safer for the cart and the wheels if all 3 of us were to be moving the cart.
let us do that, and then we can go back to Bay, the smelly Bay, or we can go
draft
forward.
horse usually runs about 50 gold. And they can pull a lot.
Yes. Okay. But first we must go back to Smelly Bay to make sure that we go get the our thing. our pay.
Let's go
That's
get
what
paid.
All right. And so what was exactly on the cart that we found, Sky?
I think it was like meats and oils.
It's like meats, oils, salt, different cooking thing. You also see what seems to be like a spilled coin purse laying near one of those crates. It might have been placed on it
Ramog's
before.
eyes just become dollar signs. Money.
It's as you pick it up, it's a little light. It's only 5 gold coins.
Just gonna slip that into my turtley pockets.
I assume you pack it all up into the cart and in your way.
Yep.
Okay. Are you guys still?
Were they like barrels of? I mean, obviously the meat's probably bad by this point. It's been like a few days.
It's not great.
It depends on how well it was preserved.
It's not great.
It may be.
It's not great.
Preserved.
It's kind of preserved, but it seems like during the crash, it may have not. It may have slipped out of the salt or whatever it was being kept in to keep it fresh.
So, how much meat was there? Like, rough number in terms of, let's say, pounds.
25?
Now, how much of that would still be good?
And hasn't been picked apart by the carnivorous.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It seems like there was multiple crates of meat, but a few of them have been broken into, and you see scraps left about.
So it's just like the supply has already been diminished, and it's about to be diminished more because I'm thinking I want to take the not as good quality meat and cook it now while we're heading back, and then leave the good stuff, or still good stuff, for return.
You could do that.
So it's just like,
right.
how much am I cooking?
Can I check this? Can we check to see how much is good meat?
Yeah.
It seems like about half of what is left is good.
Okay, so I'll just toss the half that we don't want out.
You said preserved, so like ration style?
It's more.
Preserved meat.
Yeah, it's
You can dry it. You can salt it.
Cure it.
It seems like this is mostly
curing is
kept in salt.
Okay. This is salted meat.
So, Tristan, the bad stuff that you're throwing out, I'm actually taking, and I'm gonna be cooking it when we stop to rest.
You're gonna be cooking bad meat.
It's not like spoiled.
Yeah,
but
it's not
okay.
spoiled.
I thought you said it was okay.
It's just it's
when you say
you'd
bad,
have to cut off some of it.
When you say bad, I think spoiled, and you will be sick if you eat it.
No, parts of it aren't great, and you have to cut it off. But you could salvage a few meals out of what is here.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just like, get rid of the unsalvageable, use what's left for a meal.
All right. So because you said crates for the unit of measurement, how many crates do we have?
For what?
That we have in. So how many crates of good meat and how many crates of
I
bad
didn't say.
Meat?
Well,
no,
I said
Sky
pounds.
said crates.
Sky said crates. Yeah.
Yes.
You only had one crate of meat left.
Oh, okay.
The rest seem to have been picked clean, so you have about a half full crate of meat.
Still
you also
good
have you have a barrel full of salt. You have a crate with different oils and herbs and such packed into it.
Cosmetics.
And then there's different like vinegar and all sorts of different cooking such in another crate. So you have about 3 crates total with a barrel as well.
Okay.
Of goods to return.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Then can I search the crate of like the oil and herbs to see if any of the herbs match up to the ones that we were searching for on the side of the road? And then just kind of put all of them in the same place.
Roll a nature check.
Nature. Might as well get paid for them while we're at it. Oh, never mind.
It seems like it's mostly more foreign stuff from up north.
Okay, I was about to ask.
I would know.
I was about to ask Sky. It's just like, before we started modifying and renovating the cart, what direction does it look like the cart was going? Was it heading to Hammerfall or towards Fragrance Bay?
It was headed to Fragrance Bay. This was a shipment meant for this inn.
It was literally part of the convoy that we were part of.
Well, no, it wasn't part of the convoy. It was a separate shipment that was coming in. The convoy was it was a group of merchants and such that were banded together.
The convoy was something else completely.
Yeah.
I thought you said that there was a bite in the booty of the horse.
There was.
By Wolf.
I never said it was the same pack.
Oh, I guess I didn't. Yes, you didn't. Okay, never mind. So there's another rogue
the
card
sister
out there.
location.
There's another card out there, guys. I'm kidding. All right, well, I guess we will do that, and I mean, I'm ready to head back. Are we ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Do we want to actually have a quick meal before we go?
All right, I'm down.
Sure, why not?
Why don't you take some of this new fancy cookware that we got in the cart?
I don't want to use too much of the product we're delivering.
Alright. I'll begin prepping a meal for everybody.
Okay.
Would that be a cook's utensils check?
It would.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, let's hope I don't poison it. Is this gonna be Zerd R2? No boogaloo.
You cut off the bad parts of the meat and cook up the rest, and you have a nice, meaty dinner.
Is that a reference to the Goodberry pie?
That is exactly what he was aiming for.
Yes. And the petrification soup.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
So are you guys going to make your way back towards Fragrance Bay, or are you taking a long rest before?
I think the way I wanted to do it was like quick pit stop, small 1 hour break, eat, recharge, then start going.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Also, if a Janai shits in the woods and no one's around, does it make a sound? Yes, you can hear him screaming.
Okay. Now that you all have kind of gotten a better look at the cart as you begin to take off, you see that when there is not a bunch of stuff that you have back here, like you're transporting goods, you could probably comfortably fit all of you in it, especially for night, so you wouldn't need to set up camp necessarily split out like you do.
Is it more like a wagon than a regular
yeah.
cart? Yeah.
It's a wagon.
I've got the book open.
Yeah.
It's kind of ducks in a row, you know.
Yeah.
And do we have, like, I know you said it was the cart flipped over, so the covering probably isn't the thing. Or
the covering is a little torn up, but it's still there.
All right, we did manage to salvage that. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Medieval RV, that's right, Owl.
So, are you continuing to look out for the herbs on your way back?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Everyone to roll a investigation, perception, or survival.
Oh, sorry, I did nature.
Yeah. Nature's fine
Good
too.
God, what is up with my rolls?
Little water child is not paying attention. Her mind
Water
must be thinking about something
the
else.
horses that died.
14.
Tune card. This time you find 2. Marina, you find 1.
15.
Mog, you do not see any.
With a 14?
Oh, I guess you do have a 14, so you do find 2.
17.
And Teo, you find 1.
18.
I'm glad you're keeping track. My brain is like, no! Why should I keep track of anything?
So you eventually make it until nightfall before you take a long rest. It's a little tight, but you could still fit 2 people in the cart. Not the big boys, but the Mog and Marina.
I'm not going to be sleeping in the cart.
Okay.
I'm sleeping in the cart. Fight me.
You have a nice open
And
little area
that's exactly why I'm not sleeping in the cart. I don't want to be hit with a court case.
But 3 of you wake up early in the morning. Tooncar is still heavily asleep.
Do we load him into the cart and keep going?
Well, Teo, looks like it's you and me on this one. Unless you want to try and wake him up.
No. Let the man sleep.
Do I need to get out of the cart and walk beside it so that you guys have a little less weight in the cart?
I don't think that's necessary.
I'm probably lay me down so that my mouth is like out, like on the outside of the cart.
Yeah.
My head's at the very end of the cart. Or the wagon, I should say now, not the cart.
Just sort of strap him in
Wait,
there.
hang on. I have a question. Because I'm assuming the claw thing on the top is torn in some places.
Yeah, it's battered a bit.
Tooncar, rough estimate, how tall are you sitting?
Well,
What's
I'm
your sitting
sleeping,
height?
so I'd probably be laying down.
Well,
but
probably. However, we could attempt to
prop me up. And everything.
Prop you up against the wall.
A lot of my height is in my legs, so probably I'd be sitting at probably about 4 feet 5 inches or something like that. 4.5 feet, I'm gonna say, like in the sitting position.
And how tall is it from floor to cover in the wagon?
7 feet?
Dang, I was about to say, let's see if we can fit Tooncar's head out the hole as a sign of intimidation.
It's pretty tall.
Fucking huge car.
It's tall, but it's not super wide. It's meant for carrying goods.
Yeah.
It's meant for being able to stack up crates and different things on it. Like, there's no seats back there. It's just a flatbed.
It's for goods, not people.
Okay.
It's just a flatbed with a little border around it, and then the cover comes up.
for some reason I was like thinking that it was like freaking what is it? Home on the range type of cart.
I mean,
like that's it's like high off the ground, but there's like seats on either side or like ledges on either side, and then it was pretty.
I know
it's pretty wide.
about.
That's the one I was thinking that it was, but okay.
It's more.
Wagon.
Yeah, it's
A
more.
wagon.
It's more of a store, like a transport wagon.
Yeah, more like a cargo truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not a bus.
The back is covered up by a sheet that seems to be able to split open, and it goes up higher than it does wide to allow for more
protection against
larger
the elements.
items. Yeah, protection against the elements and larger items to fit in.
Okay.
All right.
But you wake up, another day begins.
Another day, another coin.
Search for your herbs.
My herbs and my spruces.
Okay.
All right, Daniel, just flex.
Do I find what I crave, Sky?
Okay. Ramog, you...
It's a 4. I'm more focused on pulling the cart.
Yeah. Marina, you find 4 herbs. 2 cards. You think you see something and it looks great, and then it just seems to be a bunch of grass. Teo, you off in the distance, chewing on something, you spot a large white-furred bear.
Ooh.
White fur?
White fur.
Polar bear?
It's not. It looks like a normal bear.
Oh my god, it's the Coca-Cola bear!
Did we just find a very lost druid? Are we gonna commit murder?
All of a sudden, just the cart gets really hard to push.
What's up, Teo?
I'm gone.
All right, Tortle. It looks like it is me next. I'm up to bat now.
Let's wait for Teo. I think he found something.
Sky, I approach the bear like a JoJo character.
Okay, you're JoJo walking up to him.
Well, technically, I'm just I'm like sprinting. Just making myself lighter to get within striking position.
Okay. Are you Jotaro or are you Dio?
He said it like a JoJo character. He didn't specifically say which one.
The thing is grazing that all of a sudden behind.
Yeah,
hammer raised.
It's as you get closer, you see it is currently eating a family of rabbits that seem to have been caught on its claws. And it sort of turns as you hit a branch, and then you have your maul raised up as you.
That bear's not so white anymore.
Please tell me he has advantage, cause
he does. You caught it by surprise.
Smite.
Okay, roll your junk.
Bear over here eating, and then it's just bam, bailiff.
Except to go into the advanced dice roller to roll this. I need to double check how many dice I get.
66.
You rolled a 1. You rolled a 1, Danny. Psst.
What?
You rolled a 1.
I didn't.
You did.
Yes, I did.
You did.
First reroll.
Oh, okay. So
I gained 2 more points, so it's went from 16 to 18. Plus, I'm just double checking additional point, so I'm going to use.
No, shouldn't it be?
So he hasn't re-rolled his bludgeoning yet. Yeah.
He did.
Did he?
That's the 3, so that.
Oh, I thought you got a +4.
Yeah, it would be 18.
Yeah, and the maul I thought was a 1d10.
No.
Is it not a 1d10?
It's a 2d6.
Oh. I thought. Okay.
So I popped this.
Oh yeah, it is 2d6.
Is it?
So
2,
Tristan,
4, 6.
Tristan, you
I
can
thought.
hover the mouse over the damage numbers to see what was rolled for it.
Does crit not double the damage?
No, it doubles the dice.
On Roll20,
Double the dice.
you roll more dice. It's not a direct double.
For a total of 38 damage.
You come up behind and you pull your maul up, and you just use all of your force and your power to just smash right into its head.
I snap its neck.
It gets floored. Its head splatters on the ground.
I don't want to break the head. I just enough force to
crush the skull.
It smashes into the ground with a pop, and then it stops.
Ready to dislocate the skull.
Yeah, it's gone.
Does the head pop off, or is it still?
It's still there. It's just floppy.
Okay. I grab it by the scuff and I just walk out of the brush, coming back with a white bear.
Good
what
hunting,
the actual
KO.
heck, Teo?
You will just hear like a thud in the distance.
Just comes in and flings the bear into the back of the cart. And Marina screams.
You can just tell I'm walking with like stride.
He has restored his pride after the last encounter.
He is walking like he has the biggest dick on campus.
Yes, good job, Sheetman. I do. Yes, the cart definitely needed bearskin rug. Let us go. Yes, even better. All right, let us keep going.
Yep.
Yep, let's go.
Eventually, the sun begins to set, but you do make it to the gates of Franklin's Bay.
All right.
Went out with a shopping cart, came back with an SUV.
Is there do I remember if there was any type of any place where like a garage type place? I shouldn't say garage. Any type of
Well, no, garage would be the correct term.
There is a term for it. Livery stable.
There we go. That's the one.
I was thinking more like depot.
No, it's called a livery stable.
You remember that the place where you bought the cart from seemed to have storage for other carts and such?
But first we want to we probably want to try and find out like who we got to turn in our stuff first. But I just wanted to make sure that was an option in this town.
Maybe it's not a livery stable. I'm not sure.
It's whatever, a place where I can do modification.
Right. On the written up contract, you did see that it said to just come around back of the inn once you return and tell whoever is back there, whatever workers back there, that you have a delivery that was sorted out with Christina.
Aguilera?
No, just Christina.
Got it.
Okay. All right, so I guess we'll pull the cart around back.
All right. You see a young boy who seems to be just taking a smoke break currently back there.
Good evening.
So.
Special delivery for Bar Girl.
There's a lot of them.
Christina.
Okay. Hold on. And he
You
goes
know
inside.
the one.
A minute passes, and you see the maiden come back out. Ah, you've made it. Well done. I hope there wasn't too many issues.
None at all.
None at all? Question?
Yeah.
Are you going to be taking the cart or just the goods?
Well, the cart belonged to a separate company. The only thing that belonged to us was the goods, so...
Alright, well, the people who were originally driving it left, and we salvaged the cart, so if they come looking for it, tough shit, it's ours.
Alright. Understood.
All right. What in here do you need? You have big strong man and big strong sheet here to help move.
Well, if you can bring in all the crates and whatever you were able to recover and just leave them in our storage area back here, that would be a great help.
Yes.
So
Got
we
it.
need butcher.
Sorry?
Also need butcher.
Butcher? For whoa. Whoa,
I go on. I'm carrying it.
He's just.
I found my game.
Oh, okay. I'd be careful with that if I were you.
Well, first question is there even a butcher who is open right now?
Probably not. Probably not until tomorrow morning. But
Teo,
I would be careful carrying that about. That is a
Why?
very rare creature that is rarely seen around these parts, and there's a lot of hunters who would pay top dollar to kill the person who has it.
Why, kid?
It
Teo,
has exquisite meat.
I don't care for the meat.
All right. Then
At all?
Teo and I, are we moving the stuff?
By the way, anyone can tell this was done with one clean blow to the neck.
You don't care about the meat at all, sir?
I mean, maybe a little taste, but I mainly want the pelt.
I will buy all of it off of you.
As long as I get the pelt, I'm happy.
50 gold for all the meat. You can keep the pelt.
All the 50 gold, the pelt, and a tasting.
that sounds like a good
Takes
deal.
through, so. All right.
Not
Fine.
not the full meal, just scrap.
Okay. I'll bring it inside, and we'll have the cooks prepare it. Our cooks, they may not be the greatest, but they at one point were some of the best butchers around.
I'd recommend using some of the meat for a soup.
No.
Bear's very
This is like
gaming.
the prime. This is like a prime cut person. How? Okay, sorry. The inner meat enthusiast.
Okay,
of
okay.
Me.
Let me say, Percy as an actual person knows nothing much about meat prep and all that, but Ramog, who has experience cooking, is saying use some of it for soup.
By the way, what type of bear is this?
Well, to be honest, none of us are sure. All we know is that it is a albino furred bear that comes around once every 20 or so years, and it hasn't been seen in a long time.
Mm.
If it's a druid, I'm rioting.
As far as we know, it's not druid, and you seem to have it dead, so...
He would have reverted.
Yeah.
I've made that mistake more than once.
But come
You've
in.
tried to murder druids? What the heck is wrong with you?
The man lives in the wilderness. It's hard to tell the difference between a druid and a wild animal when you're trying to survive.
Are you guys bringing the...
Oh yeah, I'm right behind the...
Feel free to smack Marina if she gets obnoxious, by the way.
Oh, that hasn't stopped me before.
I know.
Okay, how many herbs total did you guys get?
22.
So 11 gold.
Yeah. She hands you... She gives you 76 gold. So you can split them on yourselves. That is payment.
76?
Yes.
50 gold.
Well, 50 goes to Teo.
Yeah, 50 of
she
it goes to Teo.
She hands just the bag to Teo, and it's the 76 gold.
Okay, hang on. I'm trying to do some quick math here.
Says the guy who took the five whole coins and didn't share one with anybody. Okay.
No.
Sorry.
Because I'm trying to remember, was it 15 gold for the original quest of bringing back the goods?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay. That
Okay.
checks out then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
We will have this prepared in a minute. If you just want to go, the rooms are on me tonight. You can spend the night, do whatever. We will have this prepared for you in an hour or so.
Sheetman, do you think you could help me move the cart in that little bit of time to a better area to do uh alteration?
So I
I'll help
stand
you
up
with
full
it.
straight. Can do.
I'll also help out.
Holy
All right.
crap, he stood up straight.
You notice
Alright,
now he is really tall.
Make
Most
sure
of the
you
time he's hunched over, but now you can really see the difference between your height and his.
don't spend too much time slouching. It's bad posture.
Bad for your back.
Indeed.
Or
Alright,
is it just the three of you going
You're
to?
just gonna like double over into an old man.
yeah, what's Marina doing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You going along with the crew to find somewhere to store the cart?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
If need be, I will sleep in the cart to make sure it's safe.
You all you begin to drag the cart through the city, and eventually you wind up back at where you originally purchased your little shoddy, uh, old faithful, so to say.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Keep going though.
And you see a sign that has carved into it storage.
Is there anybody around?
You see a man, probably in his mid-30s, just kind of sitting behind a little um,
Is it the
podium,
same man?
essentially. It's the same man, yeah.
It's the same man. Okay, we'll walk up to. I'll walk up to him. Hello,
Hi.
friend. Hello.
Hi there.
Thank you
Welcome
very
back.
much for cart. Yes, thank you very much for cart. It was very, very helpful.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad.
I currently have procured a larger wagon now,
I can see that.
and we unfortunately do not have anywhere to store it for the time being. I noticed that you do have the storage facilities for it.
Indeed.
Do you happen to have any available spaces, preferably with something with additional tools and some space to move around?
Workshop of sorts, then.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, we could loan out our open workshop right now. It would be 2 silver a day.
2 silver a day. I would like to rent for 5 days.
Gotcha. Do you have him a gold?
Gotcha. All right. And then if I need any extra time, I will let you know. But obviously, it is your shop. If you need me out, I will be out.
Shouldn't be any problems as long as you don't go breaking everything.
Would you allow me to use tool in there as well?
Yeah, that's fine.
Additionally, if you have an extra set of rims for it, because as you can see, I had to do a little makeshift.
Yes, I see that is quite beat up. I believe I could get some different pieces gathered about. It might cost a bit extra, but I have a few connections that could bring some stuff by.
Okay, well, for now we will keep it in workshop. I will be working on it for the foreseeable future, so feel free to please stop by and whenever you get that quote, and I will we can talk business then.
Understood.
Now, I have a quick question, sir.
Sure, what's up?
Is it possible to change the size of an already built cart easily and quickly?
Probably not. Um, it cart crafting is quite the delicate profession.
Almost like ship making?
Yes, it if things are off, it can send everything in a spiral downwards. Um, it if you hired a professional, you could probably get it done quite fast. But I'm not. I am not sure of your friend's skill level, as it seems to be he's a carpenter of sorts. But um, a trained professional from the academy would have somewhere between 3 or 4 days to modify a cart completely.
That's actually pretty impressive.
They are quite trained and quite skilled.
I have no predetermined concept. It just sounds impressive.
Yes, them. I've had run-ins with them gun from academy before. They are very good at what they do.
Indeed.
Okay, well, I guess. So, Toonkart, what potential modifications are you planning to make? I'm curious, aside from general repair.
I am going to obviously do general repair, swap out wheels for more appropriate sized wheels, and do the basic modifications to the car to make, for example, a sitting area uh, for us, as well as and you did say that these are kind of this is higher, right? Like these are higher walled stuff.
Yeah, it's like a flat bed, and then it has about a 6 inches of wall that kind of keep to allow things to stay in, and then it has like an arch essentially of supports to hold
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
cover.
Yep. General repair.
Repair.
So general repair height. We're going to add basic modifications like stool and sitting places.
Basically, you
Hope
want to turn it more into like a transport cart for
correct.
people.
Yeah. So
Mm,
so which is not necessarily hard to do
Yeah, it's
with my
not.
current skill level.
Yeah,
It might be a little bit difficult though, considering I'm assuming this is built with length, not width, in mind.
it's not super wide, but you could fit um, two smaller like stools. Essentially, you would lose some
What if
room
you had
for.
what if you had like sort of seats on the side that you could flip up and
Yeah. That was that was
hold
So
up,
so
but
kind of
then you
like
can like take out the supports and they flatten down so you can like carry more stuff.
You
kind
want
so
kind
movie theater
For sleep?
seats.
yeah, movie theater seats.
that yeah. So I was gonna do
Well, like they flat.
alternating movie theater seats.
Right.
So like deep on the left side, you have one, then slightly more shallow on the right side, another one. So it's kind of staggered.
It would be a little difficult, but with your skill level, you probably could do it.
What about if
I
he
was,
had
I
some
was just thinking like
assistance?
benches that like could flatten, like you can just pull out the support and they just fall down and flatten against the side.
Kind of like they're held up with
Yeah.
chains.
Yeah, and
The
then you
chains
have
were
like
like
a
had support
lock
had
or
like
something on top.
had like a under support.
Oh oh
Um,
oh.
so you can like make them into a bench.
Chains to keep it supported, and then you have hinges on the bottom connecting the actual platform to the wall of the cart. That way, you can easily just
Yeah.
fold it up. You're probably gonna want to put a
I was thinking
latch.
folding them down, but either way it works
Well,
fine.
yeah, no, I mean like you fold them down so you can sit on them, but you probably want to fold them up if you want to put stuff in.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it works either way.
Yeah.
It's just, would you rather have to hook up chains every time or just undo a latch?
I mean that's up to
My inner
craftsman.
craftsman is screaming at all of you.
Should
But
be.
it's saying it's gonna need support on the bottom.
Yeah.
Even if it flips,
Yeah.
it's gonna need support on the bottom. So
Well,
that
yeah.
it
You're
doesn't
all
break.
no.
Yeah, no, I understand that it
Because
needs support.
I've watched my dad do stuff like this with things. He works
So
with like building stuff. Sorry, go on.
so the thing that I was planning to do was have them come off the. I'm gonna have them flip up instead with as like a triangle seat. So there's nothing like holding it. There's no chains. There's just a metal bar that similar. You know how like foldable tables work. Just kind of have a
Yeah.
folding out seat with an interlocking.
I'm having a hard
metal
time
piece.
picturing this based off description. Could you give me a little bit more detail, please?
So essentially, you want like a small leg that would come out that you could stand it on.
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of like a foldable chair. How?
Exactly like a foldable chair. Except instead, but it can collapse onto the wall instead of
right.
Yeah.
That can be done.
Okay, which means when we don't need the seat, it's going to be going down towards the floor instead of up towards the ceiling, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So then we can use gravity as part of the storage. So we don't need anything. We don't need any extraneous stuff.
And
it's
then
super simple, and it's a triangle, so it can hold a fuck ton of weight.
Now, here's the question: how are you going to be doing the leg that will kind of hold it up?
Oh, I'm 100% gonna need to have somebody forge something.
Yeah, because I was thinking, is your plan to just sort of have it be built into the actual walling of the cart?
Well, I'm gonna be on the. It's gonna jut out a little bit, obviously.
Yeah.
But yes, it's gonna be onto the wall. Yes.
Not so much that it will block being able to put storage, put items back there, but okay.
Yeah, correct. And I'm gonna try to do it in bench form, so two people can do it.
Two people can.
Here, let me give you this so you can
Yeah.
You can draw.
Drawing board.
Yeah, drawing board.
Here we go.
Okay, so before all of you, shut up. Questions, Sky.
Yes.
Are the support rails visible inside the cart?
What do you mean support rails?
So the supports that come up from the bottom of the cart that go up to make the large thing. There has to be supports if they're making a frame.
So you mean
you're not understanding it either.
So you mean for the things that are holding up the actual cover, or what do you mean?
So let me grab a tool. We have that. That's the base of the thing.
That's the floor.
It has to have struts that go up for the general shape.
Yeah. So
the support beams for the cloth covering.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
There is a skeleton of sorts that is visible from inside the cart.
Okay.
Okay, you get a metal beam, put it through here. Make sure that then you make however big your seat is, you make it so it fits in that gap perfectly, so friction fits. Then there's a second metal pole somewhere inside of the wood that bends forward with the legs. Everything pulls down. It makes a chair, and it's a folding chair.
We have spent 15 to 30 minutes discussing how do we want to modify the cart. I love it.
Welcome to D&D.
I love it.
Creativity runs wild.
Yes.
Danny, my design is a lot simpler in that you don't need legs. There's no legs there. It's the same way that they do the military seating in backs of backs of cargo planes.
Cargo planes, really?
Yeah, all of the the paratrooper planes.
Okay.
So they literally are just seats that fold up, have two linking metal pieces.
Theater.
No, they go because they go from bottom up. They go from bottom up with two interlocking supporting. It's literally just a triangle.
Draw it potentially.
Can I draw on here?
Yeah. It's literally called the drawing board.
Okay. Sorry. Let me erase this. So it's say that this is the wall. So it's literally just a square on the wall. It's literally just a square on the wall, and then on the side. Let's just draw this as the side. It comes up. If I can do freaking paint, like this, and it kind of go. Here's the seat. here is one metal bar, here's a second metal bar, and then they interlock here.
Yeah, and then you can
they
push.
they fold in, and the seat comes down.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
your
That's
own
what I was
weight.
thinking too.
Yeah, and then your own weight because on the upper bar, there's usually going to be a metal kind of flap, which then pushes, which uses your own weight to help it secure it
To
even
help
more.
keep the
Like
bars.
that, Tristan?
Yeah.
So the metal
Like
bar is
what?
just gonna help the metal support that folds the chair, or
Correct.
seat in this case. Yeah, okay. There's
Correct.
gonna be a bar that helps prevent it, and
Yeah,
then
and
the
then
only
there's
the only
and
way
then there's
you'd be able to fold it back in is if you get off and do it yourself.
yeah, you get off and push in rather than pull out. You have to
Okay,
push in
yeah.
and then it'll come down.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's
And
like
then obviously
ever
there's going to
set
be
up-
like another bar like right here for security.
if you've ever had to set up a folding table, it's kind of like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where
That's what
it
I
hooks
fucking
in,
said.
and you go in there and you like
Yeah.
pop that joint, and it folds in, and everything collapses.
So
Yeah, and I
Right.
can't do something complicated because I'm just a
are
carpenter.
You are a beginner level, and you are also dumb as rocks.
Exactly. So I can't be
It-
it can't be like metal inside of wood. It has to be wood and it has to be metal.
Yeah,
And there cannot be the same thing.
This is like Toon Card, like stroke of God happening. This is him having a message from above.
Write that down. Write that down.
Like Toon Car may be dumb intellectually, but he's got a good wisdom skill.
Yeah, I'm very wise.
So he might understand things like, sort of how physics works in a rudimentary, not intellectual way.
So my
Yeah.
uncle
he
put it like
understands
this.
from experience.
My uncle put it like this: you might be dumb, but you could still think about this. It's probably just gonna take you a lot longer than most people. Meaning, if
Yeah.
it would probably take someone a day or two to think of this, for Toon Card, it'd probably take a week or longer. But he would eventually think of it.
But these are how we did. These are how we did the how me and my father did like the. Sorry, this is how me and my father used to climb trees and chop trees down from top up. We made little things like this on
Oh,
side
you
of
made-
tree.
You made footholds, platforms.
And yes, and they were able to support big minotaur like Papa, and little minotaur like me
Okay.
at the same time. Ha ha ha!
Okay,
Dang.
so this is going to be something that's going to take you multiple days to make. How many are you making, or are you making it like one big bench that does it?
I'm doing one big. I'm doing two benches. So it's deep enough for all four of us to be on one side, right?
If you were to all sit on one side, you could fit all of you in the cart.
Okay, then that's what I'm gonna do. Two benches worth, on the one side.
If I could, I'd like to suggest you do a bench that can fit two people on each side. That way, we can.
But then there's not enough room though. It's too narrow. Is what
I get that,
Sky's
but it's just
saying.
like, here's the thing though. Until we get horses, we're not all going to be, sitting in there.
Hold on.
Okay.
Tristan, I think you misunderstood me. There is enough room. So take this as the sides of the cart, right? There is enough room that you could have bench 1, bench 2, and still have room for the other benches on the other side, and have a little bit of legroom here.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that it's so super narrow.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not crazy narrow. It's just made more for up than it is for wide.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so
There's
what
not
I'm saying
going to
is,
be a lot of legroom, but there's going to be legroom.
yeah, I'm saying let's do this. That way we can use our bodies to kind of help secure the cargo we may be transporting in the back.
Yeah, that is what cargo dwarf.
Well, here's the thing though. We don't want to do too crazy because we also need to consider the effects on whatever's going to be pulling our cart. Because I know horses can carry a lot, but for the time being, we're using manpower.
Yeah. So okay, fine. So we'll do the all right. So we will do two benches either side, at the very end of the cart, and then about halfway down the cart, I am going to put in two. I'm also going to put in a slight. I don't want to. It's not door. It's not door, but it is stopper for cargo for the stuff that's
So
deeper inside.
kind of like a half wall.
Uh, yeah, half wall, which I'm gonna do by by cutting indents in either side of the walls,
So
and then just sliding a piece of
Right.
wood down through the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially you're creating a
That's
stopper.
yeah.
that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
The
That's
best
exactly
way
it.
I could think about this is tighten like rally barricade wall, kind of like the half wall.
Yeah,
Not
you're essentially carving a small sliver out of each side and then fitting a piece of wood into it that you
And
can slide in and out.
that's all the inside modifications I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So, for the time being.
Okay. Let me.
Now that we understand what we're doing.
Now that we've spent the majority of our session talking about cart modification.
All I'm gonna say is, I'm just picturing Teo, me, and Tooncar off in one corner. We have the shopkeeper and Marina just sitting in the back watching this, like, what are they talking about?
Oh no, the shopkeeper's not with you. She and her.
She let us
the
use
rest
the
of them.
chalkboard.
Yeah,
this is the chalkboard.
We are in the workshop. There's just the chalkboard.
Yeah, right now you're at the workshop and you have the cart in there. There's a small drawing board on it, as well as a table for Bluebird's table. There's a table that seems to have a few tools on it and a working space, as well as some.
This is a Jiffy Lube,
kind
more
of
or less.
Yeah.
But first, we must get wheels on there. First and foremost, we must get better wheels.
First and foremost, yes.
Okay,
Which
Tristan,
the person does not have.
Tristan, after session, at some point, just give me a list of what you need, and I'll give you a price.
Okay.
I'll give you a price and the time it will take to do that.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did we ever suss out, like, how much money people get for things?
No.
You mean, did we divide up the payment?
Yeah.
Not yet.
If I'm gonna be honest, hang on.
If you say you don't want anything,
No.
and you make everyone else pay for your room and board again.
No. I'm trying to think about how I would say this in character. Okay.
If I could make a suggestion, it feels like we're gonna be doing a lot of this together for a while. I suggest we take the money we got from the herbs and the cart and use that as group funds. We leave Teo the 50 gold he got for hunting, but the 26 we got from the quests, group funds. We use that for the good of the group.
Sure, whatever. I guess.
Tooncar, Teo, your opinions on this?
I would not want to pull my money anyway, so I do agree with the price. I do agree with the thing that the turtle is saying.
Teo?
I keep my 50.
Yes.
All right, but we must be in agreement that at least 3 out of the 4 of us will have to approve to spend group fund.
Yes, we need unanimous decision making.
Not unanimous. Majority.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But what do we do in the event of a 50-50?
In the event of a 50-50, I say we do not accept. We do not spend the money.
Okay.
Can we agree? Can we agree to that?
Yeah.
And so,
Theo?
Negotiate.
I'd like to suggest the first thing we buy with group funds is something to pull the wagon.
Horse.
We currently do not have a fully functioning wagon to pull.
Exactly,
Just want to say.
Which means, in the time between fixing up the cart, some of us could go off to try and earn a bit more money for, like, say, a couple horses.
Okay, if the cart fits a wagon
Wagon.
is
Let us make a name so that we can reference it as such.
well, if it's a wagon, I have this written down here. Where is it?
God. She has a
What?
horse. She has a horse to carriage ratio.
No, I've got rules here in my
I can hear the paper moving. Oh.
Yeah, I'm flipping through my book. Flipping through my player's handbook.
Are you looking for the price of horses?
I'm looking for I have it in here. I'm trying to figure out where it's at. Yeah, here it is. Okay. A draft horse costs 50 gold and has a carrying capacity of 540 pounds. The carrying capacity is multiplied by 5 for how much they can pull in a carriage, cart, chariot, sled, wagon, etc. So a wagon is 400 pounds, so a draft horse could pull an unladen wagon without a problem.
So,
and it should be able to pull our weights as well. So we may only need, like, if it's like a single draft horse could probably do it, but I don't know if it's set up to have a single horse
I
pulling
think
it.
when we first found the cart, Sky described it as it's set up for 2 horses to be pulling it at once.
It is, but you could possibly modify that a bit because it's the things in front are kind of just
out the shafts.
Yeah, they're just essentially attached to the front. You could bring them in a bit.
Yes, we just need to work the shaft.
Yeah.
I still think we should probably go for 2 horses. That way we don't put a lot of strain on the first one.
Yeah, it's just that 2 horses is going to be a lot more expensive because it is 50 gold for a single draft horse.
And that's what haggling is for.
Yeah.
And plus, you also have to think about like feeding them and maintenance.
That too.
Can
we're
I
also
just?
going to have to make sure
I'm imagining we're talking about this in character. I'm just a bit too lazy to be doing the voice right now.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, like, just the out of character parts is me bringing up like actual like weights
gold.
And
yeah.
You being horse nerd.
I can tell that she's really excited to get a horse.
Look, okay, I freaking love horses, okay?
This is her inner cowboy speaking.
So,
okay.
No, it's my inner horse girl.
You are also a cowboy.
Or for now, it is late.
Yes.
Yes.
So we need to go sleep.
Yeah. So okay. So you it's been about an hour. You hear some footsteps before Christina walks through the door to the workshop. She seems to have known where you were going because y'all are loud.
No.
Your tasting's ready, as well as your rooming and whatever else you would require for the night. You all go back to the tavern with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The tavern is quiet. It seems like everyone has been kicked out, and you see a feast table set up with plates that have a incredibly appetizing looking meat on it, with some sort of dark sauce, with cups that seem to have wine in them. It seems like they have prepared a feast for your insane deed.
Did they note how it was broken in only one place?
They are very impressed.
all of this just for me. Oh, you shouldn't have. As I start kind of like bounding over the table.
All of a sudden, you all hear the thud as the hammer hits the
To the
ground.
legs.
Hand on the handle, just waiting. Make your move, Tunkar.
No. As soon as he says that and he starts walking over, I take the quarterstaff. I swing for the legs.
Yo, they're letting me drink?
Slow your roll, buddy. Tail was the one who got the meal.
Merida, yours is just grape juice.
I mean, I'm not going to be drinking the booze in mine.
Okay.
Because, surprisingly enough, Ramog doesn't drink.
Are you all...
Marina's just like, yo, I get to break
Don't
rules.
Get me in front of the... Do not touch me, turtle, when it comes to food.
I'm telling you to slow down, okay? Tail hunted this.
I'm sitting down.
You see this large, burly man just grab both the turtle and your shoulder, Tunkar, because he is taller than you, and he just grips it. Sit down. This was prepared specifically for you. We will not have you ruin it. This is a very once-in-a-lifetime experience, okay?
I'm sorry, sir. Trying to slow down Butterball here.
What was that, Don?
Is everyone in this universe Russian?
Shh, shut up.
These are my people.
This guy can do one voice and it's Russian.
These are my people.
You all just see me holding, with like 2 fingers, a fork and a knife, trying to like cut.
Yeah, it's just like me and Tunkar are over here squabbling about respecting the man who got the food. Marina's just sliding off somewhere watching this happen. Then we got Teo over here. It's just like, what should I have first?
Yes, the steak
Teo's
is
over here going, how do I use like silverware?
How do I civilize?
Do you need me to cut your meat for you, Scorpy?
No, I am good.
You sure?
I'm a happy person. You all watch as I pull the bandana down, revealing a row of jagged teeth.
Danny, I'm just picturing you taking your tail, stabbing it onto the end of the meat, then you're just eating off the tail, just like, yes.
And then Toonkar's just using his he's got the little utensils in his fingers, and he's just kind of like sawing off a piece of steak.
Adult using child's teacup.
That's exactly the picture that I was going for. Yes.
Are you all sitting down for a meal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Danny, I need you to roll 2d10.
2d10?
2d10.
It was the...
As you all begin to eat, you are entranced. It's extremely tender and juicy and flavorful, and it's addicting. You try to stop yourself, but you just can't, and you keep eating and eating until your plate is empty. And for the next 24 hours, you have an additional 12 temporary hit points.
Oh.
This meat gives you a slight piece of a hero's feast.
Wait, Sky.
Yeah.
You say slight piece?
Yes.
Are you telling me if we collect the right foods, herbs, and spices?
Oh, no, not this shit again.
There is the full hero's course, which provides better benefits.
It would be extremely hard, as the ingredients, when not magically summoned, are extremely rare. As this bear appears once every 20 years.
Alright, boys, this is Monster Hunter logic. Who's eating for Moxie?
We must find the 11 urban spices.
Is this temporary HP, or is this a increase in HP like Hero normally does?
I think it's temporary.
I thought Hero's Feast gives temporary.
I cannot remember.
I'm pretty sure it's just 2. Yeah, it's temporary. So yeah, you get 12 temporary HP for the next 24 hours. It may or may not have any use. Depends on what you do. But you all consume your meal and eventually make your way into your designated rooms where you fall asleep for the night pretty peacefully as you are stuffed full. You are
Food
now
coma.
slightly more rich, and you have free time in your future. That's where we're on tonight.
Yep.
And a wagon.
Yep.
Hopping up in a
Eventually
wagon.
horses.
I don't think we've officially named ourselves.
No, you have not.
Not yet.
No, we've not.
Nope.
We haven't made a name.
Well, I mean, we've started to garner a bit of a reputation with the drunken monk bar fight, the white bear, and then the small delivery we just did.
In this region, yes.
Yes, within
And
this
the
town.
theft.
They don't know we did the theft.
Yet.
Yes.
Half your party doesn't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, I do want to inquire that my pelt survived.
Yeah, they in your room laid a wrapped up package that had the pelt, including the head, like the head pelt, rather, in it. Essentially, you have a finished bear rug that you could turn into whatever.
As I look at this for a second, I look in the mirror. I hold the bear head next to my head. Is it similar size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bear helmet.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna so I'm gonna write I'm gonna write all the stuff that I need for
Yeah.
the cart in my PM stuff in my notes and feedback one.
That's fine.
I'll do that.
But we're done with it. Wow.
Woo!
Bear poncho.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around for the whole session. VODs are going to be going up. For me personally, I'm gonna try and get my VOD up by tomorrow on youtube.com/PercyTheOtter. And for Tristan,
As usual, it's gonna be the Wednesday before. And I try to do a bit more editing and everything. So.
and where can we find this?
Let me pull up the thing right now. youtube.com/UCPY93NI1JKH2HFDQXKV70TQ.
What?
Just
Because they took away the custom URLs for your channel name.
Dang.
Because
Dang.
YouTube. Fuck YouTube.
And this is how you get your channel deleted.
Yeah, pretty much.
YouTube.
Don't worry, this isn't going in the video.
Just look for Epic Leveler.
Yeah, there you go.
Or the Unlikelies D&D campaign, which is I believe my videos are the first up, I believe, for that. So on the Unlikelies D&D.
Hopefully. Something
Yeah,
along those
the Unlikelies, yes. They are the first ones up. And then Percy is a little bit. If you scroll down a little bit, Percy's there too.
Yeah, or you could just look for my YouTube channel.
Exactly.
Same as the Twitch name. Anyway, have a wonderful night. Take care, and we'll see you